Truth is, I thought it mattered. I thought that
money
mattered. But does it bollocks? Not compared to how people matter.
Welcome, mention and other fine folks to the Someday Dispatch of the Black Letter, where we contemplate thoughts worth thinking as we try to navigate through this upside-down, topsy-turvy world and onto greener pastures on the other side, coming out hopefully wealthier, happier, healthier, and wiser. This morning, we've got a whole bunch of news. We'll be looking at cryptocurrencies primarily. Currently, cryptocurrency is about the only asset I'm seeing as worthwhile investing in. Of course, none of this is financial advice, just what my thoughts are, what I'm doing. Sharing that with you. Hopefully you'll share what you're doing with me and the rest of us down below. So first up, the daily hodl. Top trader names 5 altcoins are set to rally. When to buy Ethereum and XRP, and what's next for Bitcoin. I'll be honest with you, most of these coins I'm not that familiar with. The analyst, Michael van der Pop, also known as Crypto Michael, says he is watching a seller network as he believes the seller Bitcoin pair indicates a significant rally is coming. I'm not aware of seller at all, so perhaps we'll take a look at that to see what it's looking like in the market cap, cryptocurrency market cap. Okay, so here's the seller network. You can see it's worth about a penny currently, up 11.4% over the last, I think that's probably 24 hours. I think it has a total supply of 10 billion that looks like, which is good news. I always prefer to invest in coins that have a maximum number. I think that's what that means. So there's not a lot of information here, but there you have it. It's been going up the last little while. Let's see, let's do 1 year. Yeah, so this is not something I'd be chasing at the moment. It's risen quite high already. However, it's only a penny, so interesting to see. Then the crypto trader is also looking at Harmony, which is under the, I guess, the symbol 1. Okay, here's Harmony, also about a penny, so he likes his penny coins. And of course, those ones are the ones with small market cap. This is under 100 million, potentially have the highest opportunity or the best opportunity to go 100x or so. Mind you, having said that, there's also a lot of risk with these coins, so I'm not familiar with this one too, and I bet you this one's been escalating lately as well. If we look at the 1 year, yep, it's at about a 1 year high almost. Anyway, something else for you to consider if you're interested in these coins. Of course, if you were to think of these, if I was to consider investing or putting money into them, I would certainly look them up, take a look at the website, see if they have a white paper, take a read of that. Here you can see the information. Here's the white paper, etc., etc. So you click on that and see what they're all about. So to scale trust and create a radically fair economy, that doesn't tell me anything. Sharding and staking on mainnet, and it's a proof of effective proof of stake. So interesting. Seems similar to Stellar, but of course, you know, one would need a lot more insight and research to determine if this would be something to consider. He's also looking at Troy and Decentraland. Okay, here's Troy, and again, you can take a look at the information there if you want, and it's less than a penny right now. See how it's been doing over the past year, and also coming up on 1 year highs roughly. Looks like it has also a $10 billion maximum supply. I'm hoping that's what that means. Yeah, I think that must be the maximum supply, because here we are looking at Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin only has 21 million, so this must be the maximum supply. And the other one was Troy and Decentraland. Decentraland, as you can see here, goes under the symbol Mana, and it's coming on 10 cents almost. See how it's been doing over the last year. Again, it's popped recently, something to consider. It also has a maximum supply, an odd number here, 2.6 billion or so. Interesting. And then also the last coin is Algorand. Algorand I have heard of, but I don't know much about it. Okay, so Algorand is about 47 cents currently. And Algorand is off of its recent year high. As you can see, it's actually relatively reasonably priced compared to its past yearly highs and lows, but still at 47%, 10 billion coin supply. And again, a lot of these coins are difficult to exchange, also to buy, and also more importantly to store in a wallet. I know the wallet I use, which is Exodus primarily, doesn't have a lot of these smaller cap coins available. So that's another thing to think about if you're going to be interested in investing or trading these lesser well-known coins. So bear that in mind. Frankly, I'm just going to keep it simple and go with the top ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum. Choose from the top 10 or top 25, top 30. But honestly, there's only so much money that can go around, and so I'm just focusing on Bitcoin, Ethereum at the moment. Put a little bit of money into Bitcoin Cash too, but that's about it. That keeps me busy enough. I don't have the time nor the mental bandwidth to have to search through all these different altcoins to determine which ones might be successful or not. So there you have it. Then he also goes on to say he's keeping a close eye on Ethereum. He's waiting for the second largest cryptocurrency to significantly correct down to 320 and then 280 before placing long positions. So you can take this and put it into part of your thesis. Take a look at the chart, see if that's something that's interesting to you. Personally, I'm just doing dollar cost averaging, so I just put a little bit of money in each year, each day, or each week, or each paycheck, and then have a little bit drawn out each day, dollar cost averaging. Find that's a simpler process. I've got enough on the go right now that I don't want to really spend my hours looking for altcoins that might go to the moon, as well as looking for good entry points into Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP, for example, because frankly, what will happen is that you'll never be able to get in right at the low, and you'll never really be able to get out right at the high unless you're extremely lucky. And so I just don't find that it's a good use of my time. And he's also looking at XRP. He says the third largest crypto is now ripe for a retracement after a strong bullish push above 32 cents. Van der Pop is eyeing 28 and 24 cents as possible levels to take longs. We'll take a look at the coin market caps generally towards the end of the video here, see where they are currently. And then for Bitcoin, Bitcoin is now trading around the resistance level between 11,600 and 12,000. He suggests waiting to see if the King crypto converts resistance at 12,000 into support. Otherwise, he's expecting Bitcoin to drop to strong support at around 9,800. Who knows? There's potential. I think it's still good opportunities to get into the cryptocurrency space, and that's why I'm continuing to put a little bit of money in dollar cost average. Russia backs away from total cryptocurrency ban. Russia recently signed a new cryptocurrency law that imposes stringent restrictions on its use in a form of monetary currency, so at least it's not been banned outright. Starting January 1st, 2021, cryptocurrencies will be allowed in Russia, though they will not be allowed to be used in exchange for any goods or services. So in other words, Russians can mine, trade cryptocurrencies for other cryptocurrencies on exchanges and own cryptocurrencies without any legal issues. You just can't use them to buy stuff, I guess. Russian banks will be allowed to open up cryptocurrency exchanges under the supervision of the central bank. Of course, the central bank is running scared now that they're going to be made redundant, which they will be if Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies really takes off in a massive way. Russia's attitude to cryptocurrencies is portrayed as criminal, while blockchain is seen in a neutral to positive light, and this echoes the Chinese state's view on the binary nature between what are essentially two sides of the same coin, the blockchain and the coin on itself. One of the strongest opponents of cryptocurrencies in Russia has been the central bank, no doubt. As I mentioned before, they're losing market share here. Governments are probably trembling in their boots that they'll lose actual control over the financial system, and I hope they do, frankly. The time for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is long overdue. We need to create a sovereignty for ourselves as financial owners of our own financial system in many ways. And I think cryptocurrencies offers that. You don't have to, one of the greatest assets of cryptocurrencies really, in my opinion, is the fact that it's decentralized. You don't have to worry about middlemen and central banksters trying to control and erode your wealth over time. So the Central Bank of Russia here warned that cryptocurrencies could be used for money laundering and to support terrorism. Such nonsense, frankly, and of course the rubles or the dollars aren't being used for any of that, right? Russia's digital tools allows for a total surveillance state of digital activity, which is exactly where they were trying to go with this all along. It's all about controlling the citizenry, right? It's outrageous abuse of power, frankly. The sooner we get this mainstream adopted by the public, the better off all of us will be. And also this whole idea that cryptocurrencies being used for money laundering and support terrorism, we'll see, is a bit far-fetched, at least to the degree that they consider this the big bogeyman of cryptocurrencies, right? 6 myths and facts about cryptocurrencies. I thought this would be interesting, maybe for some new viewers to the channel. And those of you new to cryptocurrency anyway, there's a few... most of you will know these myths, but for some of us, it might be helpful just to go over them again, just to see that cryptocurrency is not this big, scary monster in the closet, right? but in fact can allow us to take control of our own financial futures. So myth one, Bitcoin and blockchain are the same things. As you know, they're different. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that runs on a blockchain generally. Blockchain is the technology which Bitcoin is built upon. So for example, the blockchain is really the ledger, if you will, of which these transactions or this currency, Bitcoin, is verified and historically managed, if you will. So all the blockchains or the chains on this block keep getting added, and all the transactions from the beginning are well known and public and owned and open to everyone. There is only one blockchain. In fact, there are many different blockchains. So Bitcoin, of course, is the well known, has its own blockchain. Then XRP has its own blockchain, and most of these coins, or not most of them, but a lot of these coins have their own blockchain. And so Ethereum is important because it's developed a blockchain upon which all other tokens, or a lot of other tokens, are now running, especially for DeFi or decentralized financial applications. So a lot of those are running on the not the XRP, but on the Ethereum blockchain. So Ethereum has its own blockchain. Bitcoin does, XRP as well, Litecoin they use as well here as well. Blockchain is different to the actual cryptocurrency as we know, and there is not just one blockchain. That's the great thing about this. Myth, all cryptocurrencies are the same and are only used for blockchains. In fact, cryptocurrencies and blockchains have a wide range of uses. So they talk about finance, energy, medical, medicine, for example. There's a ton, and I think as these blockchains become more valid and viable, we'll start to see how all sorts of human ingenuity and creativity will come up with all sorts of use cases. I think this is the Wild West, folks, in cryptocurrencies. Currently, we're still in the early days, so sort of the Netscape internet, if you will, or even perhaps slightly before then. Myth, cryptocurrencies are speculative and backed by nothing, unlike money. The fact is cryptocurrencies are backed by the technology supporting them and its users. And in fact, their money is not backed by anything except the heavy-handed nature of the state and its military. Digital currencies are primarily used for illicit activities. So here we go. Some facts is that 0.5% of Bitcoin transactions in 2019 were transacted on the dark web, far less than fiat money. And so this goes back to the Russian central bank nonsense, fear-mongering about all these cryptocurrencies being used for nefarious purposes. Here you can see it's actually only a very small percentage. It goes into greater detail here. Myth, cryptocurrencies are unregulated. In fact, cryptocurrencies are regulated, and the European Securities and Markets Authority, ESMA, plans cryptocurrency regulation as part of its 2020 to 2022 focus. The US Congress recently introduced over 30 cryptocurrency and blockchain bills, and cryptocurrencies are legal and treated as property in Australia. So there you go. I think this is good. There's more information coming out. There's more reports. There's more news about cryptocurrencies, and this is all good news for cryptocurrency generally, in my opinion. Stellar could kick off a wild uptrend if bulls guard key level. So it'll be interesting for you, those who are trading cryptocurrencies. It now appears that the cryptocurrency could be well positioned to see an explosive uptrend in the coming few weeks. He's talking about a 0.000014 Bitcoin level if you look at Stellar compared to Bitcoin. And so I guess this is the sort of level up here, I would imagine. You can see that's hard to read, and I can't open this up. It doesn't click out. And when you go to the trading view, all you get is this crappy chart here. So that doesn't really help. It doesn't show you. But basically, they're aiming for a 0.000014 level, which will be up at about here, I guess, on this chart. But this chart is pretty much useless because you can't go 5 years. It just doesn't really do much for you, so it's a bit irrelevant. But here you can see there's, I wouldn't even consider this resistance, really. I mean, that's just a couple of little points there. It's not very strong, in my opinion. This is a much better level of resistance. But there you have it. This is just one guy's argument. And another analyst actually explained that he too also thinks that level is a reasonable upside target. And here they go again as well. And I think this is the level here. Again, this is, that means maybe a soft resistance level. I don't see this as huge. This would be a better resistance level here. But anyway, I don't really pay much attention to technical analysis. I mean, I do a little bit, but not so much on my cryptocurrencies because I'm in it for the long haul. So the month-to-month or even the several monthly trends in that are not of much concern for me, especially when you dollar cost averaging into these things. Daily hodl again. Grayscale launches new crypto ad on national TV highlighting Bitcoin and 8 altcoins. This ad is a bit weak sourced in my opinion. I'd love to get your impression as well down in the description below. We'll take a look at it. But first, Grayscale's national TV ad that promises to bring crypto to the masses has officially launched. The commercial highlights the massive money printing of central banks and the pitfalls of paper money to compel people to invest in digital assets. The ad will be featured on CNBC, MSNBC, Fox, and Fox Business. At the end of the commercial, it lists Grayscale's 9 crypto products which offer exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Stellar, Ethereum Classic, Zcash, and Horizon. So it's interesting to see which of the big companies are starting to focus on and which cryptocurrencies that they'll invest in, because those are arguably the ones that'll be the safest out of these volatile and risky assets. So that's where I'm generally trying to save most of my money into the cryptocurrency space, in these bigger ones, these well-known ones. Here's the commercial. You can see it talks about Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic, incidentally, is very vulnerable. The blockchain, I believe, there's been issues with it being hacked. They have a double spending problem. So I wouldn't invest in Ethereum Classic, that's for sure. Horizon, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, XRP, and Zcash. All the others seem fairly reasonable. I own, as you know, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum and Litecoin a little bit and Stellar and XRP. So yeah, we'll take a listen to this. It's only 30 seconds long. See what you think.
Before money, people traded goods, food, cattle, grain, even shells represented value. Then currency came along. They made it out of copper, gold, silver, wampum. Soon people decided to put all that value into a piece of paper, then proceeded to wave goodbye to value, printing unlimited amounts of money as they passed the buck to the future. That's why it's time for digital currency. And your investment in the Grayscale funds. Go digital. Go Grayscale.
And this is just ridiculous. This ad is crap. It's one of the worst ads I think I've seen in a while. I don't understand what the hell they're trying to suggest. And in fact, the music at the background, I think that's the Sex Pistols, if I'm not mistaken, or could it be the Clash? No, maybe it's the Clash. Just it seems grating compared to what they're actually trying to get across. So it's a weird ad. Nevertheless, I'm not here to critique the ad, but it is interesting to see that at least the ad is going to be getting on national television. And so a lot of people will be seeing this. And it's just one of the other things, I think there's there's sort of a meme out there or an understanding that people have to see things or hear about things, I think 7 or 8 times before they start to sort of get it, and it starts to seem like it's becoming more common and understandable, something along those lines. Anyway, here we have some more information about cryptocurrencies getting to the mainstream, which is good news. And lastly, invest in Bitcoin for returns that benefit from inflation. No need to fear the dollar's deterioration if you invest in Bitcoin for the long run. It takes a certain type of outside-the-box mindset to invest in Bitcoin, often considered the mothership of cryptocurrencies. As an asset, it's not like a stock or a traditional currency. It's more like a currency of the people. And cryptocurrencies generally are speculative and volatile, and there's absolutely no guarantee that they'll go up in value. So that's important to know. As you know, it's a nascent industry. And honestly, I think the potential is huge, but at the same time, there's also that risk, the potential that they could end up becoming vaporware in some ways or becoming worthless. So be aware of that. You're talking about the Federal Reserve and their money printing here. And he says there's another proclivity of the Federal Reserve that's even more Bitcoin bullish than bond yield suppression, and that is referring to the Fed's likelihood to raise the dollar inflation rate in the coming months and years. A cheap dollar makes it easier for America to pay off its dollar-denominated debt, which runs into the trillions. And here we have Ed Yardeni saying that we believe the Fed publicly would welcome inflation in a range of 2 to 4% because it's long overdue, he says here. Whether this is actually long overdue is debatable, as a diminished dollar isn't necessarily beneficial for the struggling American consumer. Now, this is really what is appalling really to hear. Well, it's not really appalling. I guess it's just a little bit of a taste of the truthiness of all of this. They're actively trying to erode our wealth is basically what's happening here. When you get inflation, your fiat currency, so basically your paycheck, any money you earn based in the currency of the country, is being eroded at an astonishing rate, right? I think since 100 years ago or around there, the US dollar has lost 95% of its value. So they're actively trying to rob you of your wealth is what this is happening, is what this really means at the end of the day, right? If you want to look at it a little bit more cynically. If you're measuring Bitcoin against the dollar, then the Fed will be the Bitcoin investor's ally. So that's some good news. Well, an interesting perspective anyway, and I do believe that we're going to see Bitcoin behaving more like a store of value, and perhaps one day it'll become a greatly usable currency. But I think it will generally probably outperform gold, or at least, I don't know, I think it will outperform gold because it only has a maximum supply, whereas gold, I don't think we've determined what the maximum supply of gold is. So we'll always be able to bring out about 1 or 2% of gold out of the earth each year. So there's still inflation with gold, whereas Bitcoin is deflationary. So I think it will continue to outpace gold in value and in increasing value as well as time goes by. All right, let's take a look at the markets quickly. Okay, so we're having a nice green day today after a day or two of in the red. This continues to amaze me. As you know, each day I look at this and I just shake my head, and one day the chickens will come home to roost, as Malcolm X said. All right, on to gold. Okay, after taking a bit of a dive yesterday, gold is ticking up a little bit, still over 26% year to date, and we'll probably see a similar chart for silver. And there you go, there you have it. Silver is up over 43% year to date, and also after its fall yesterday, it's starting to climb back up. We'll see how that continues. And now on to the cryptocurrencies in aggregate. All right, so we're a little bit up 0.1% over the last 24 hours, 363 billion market cap, 5889 coins. So those are growing after they were declined from 7,700, I think. So we lost about 2,000 coins, and now there's more growing. Anyway, Bitcoin in that 24 hours are down a little, but still over 11.5. Ethereum, XRP, all the rest of them are down. Chainlink is just doing bananas. Of course, I'm not chasing the high flyers. I'll wait for that to come back down and then do some research into it if I'm interested. But there's only so much money I have, and I'm just going to focus on the big ones for now. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Tezos up again. Stellar up marginally. And Cosmos up quite substantially. While Compound up almost 50% in 24 hours. I mean, this is the kind of madness you can see. And you just wait until we really hit the bull market, folks. These are going to be common sort of numbers on a weekly, monthly basis. So there you have it. Okay, on to our online oracle, our trusty sidekick, the 8-Ball Economist, for today's most pressing question. So I thought an interesting question for the 8-Ball Economist today would be, will Bitcoin become the world's reserve currency by the end of the decade? I don't believe it will, but it'll be interesting to see what the online oracle has to say. Signs point to yes. That's very interesting. So there you have it, folks. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. Do you think that Bitcoin has any chance of becoming the world's reserve currency by the end of the decade? I'm doubtful. I think maybe it'll become the citizens' world reserve currency of choice, the global citizenship, or the global citizenry's world reserve currency of choice for perhaps transactions amongst ourselves throughout the world. I mean, I could see that happening, but as a world reserve currency adopted by the central banks and the governments, I doubt it. So there you have it, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow we'll look at what's happening in the markets again, and there'll be the unemployment report coming through, probably another 1 million plus folks newly unemployed, and the stock market will celebrate that with another bump, I'm sure. Anyway, we live in the upside down, the topsy-turvy, so we have to navigate appropriately. So let's pay down debt, squirrel away some savings so we can make use of the opportunities as they come in the next several months to a year or so. And in the meantime, stay healthy, be kind out there, and remember, dum spiro, spero.